But Christine, also you said he doesn't have to make $1 million. So is there like a, because I've heard that term from a lot of girls, oh, it doesn't make a lot of money, but I do believe there's a certain type of level of financial stability that women look for. So my question is, what kind of financial stability are you looking for? Because are there certain jobs you wouldn't date a guy if he was working a certain job? It's a certain type of level that you look for.
I don't, because for me, I feel like I'm the type of person, like I'm a giver. So I feel like in a lot of my relationships too, I've been the one to always kind of be more like financially involved than the guy, which I know like a lot of people don't like that. They want the guy to take care of everything. So for me, I really wouldn't like, it could be a janitor. Like, I don't care.
Okay. So for you, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie about that. I feel the same. I mean, not disagreeing with, I mean, that's fine. Everybody has their different goals or what they're looking for. But being a business owner and also having children, it gets a little more complex for me. I can't just be with anybody, whether it's not that I look down on anybody's career choice. I think it's amazing. And I think you should feel blessed that you have a job, period, in this economy if you have one. So whether you do scrubbing toilets or you are an entrepreneur and have something, like, it doesn't matter in that sense. But when I'm looking for someone that's compatible with me, and also from being previously divorced, I also know what I need in order for it to work. So as a business owner, it requires a lot of time dedicated to my business, where somebody that doesn't have such a demanding career won't understand the demands of that. And also I do look at, are they physically active? Because that's something that's a large portion of my time also. And then the remaining bracket is my kids. So do they like the kids? Are they going to understand the time constraints that I have? Which means that it does mean that they're going to fall into some kind of a financial bracket, because if they just work a 9 to 5 and it's not very strenuous work as far as like time consuming, and their work comes home with them, they may not understand my situation, because my job tends to come home with me a lot. Okay. And then the other part, the physical part, as not because I'm looking for somebody that's aesthetically necessarily pleasing, because yes, I want to be physically attracted to that person. I take care of myself, so I want something that does also. I don't expect them to be a competitor like I am, but I do expect them to work out. But for them to understand that, hey, that means there's going to be restrictions as far as like, I don't want to go out to eat at a restaurant every freaking Saturday. I'm going to meal prep a lot of time. That takes time. I'm going to be at the gym 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. I'm not going to be home during this time. Either you come and join me, or you can be quiet about it and just not complain, because you when you get with me, you realize that I look this way, or this is my pattern. I don't hide what I do. I tell you, hey, this is what I do. This is my schedule, whatever. You were okay with in the beginning. So I don't want to hear you bitch and moan about it later, because if you like the way I look, then shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. Woo.
So I'll be honest. I'm being brutally honest. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anybody,
Hey, Christine, how old are you again?
25.
25. No, the reason why I asked you whether you cared about what your guy does, right? Because I've been doing this show for a long time, so I've had a chance to talk to women all ages, whether 30s, 40s, even to 18s or 19. The one thing I have noticed when I talk to older women, like in the late 20s or early 30s or 40s, the one thing they would say is like one of the biggest mistakes they made when it came to the choices with the men they were with earlier when they were younger. They didn't pay attention to his life, what he did, or did he have a plan? Did he have a goal for his life? Because a lot of times when you ask younger girls, they're like, "Oh, I don't care what he does," or "I don't care what he does," because you guys are just more focused on the emotional part of the relationship. But then once you go into commitment and once you get into marriage and realize that this guy probably didn't have the traits or the mindset to grow and to work and to be ambitious, and then it puts a lot of strain on the relationship. Because I've heard from girls before, I don't care. And you go with the guy that over time and realizing he's not really fulfilling his responsibilities financially, and then later on they end up splitting or something happens. The relationship doesn't work out. Because I do believe, in order for a lot of women, when I ask them, they do prefer a man that can be financially stable and bring and fulfill his responsibility to protect and provide. If that, does anybody want to add to that?
I kind of have to add to that. Sorry. Yeah, like I don't mean it in a way like, oh, I don't care. Like what I mean is like, because you could be doing some like a job or you could have a career that might not look very fulfilling for other people. But for me, it's like, if they love what they do, I'm not going to look down on them just because like, even if I'm more financially stable, like, I don't know, that's just me. Like if a person loves what they do, you can't really be like, oh, no, you have to be an entrepreneur. Like you have to be making a lot of money. And like, because if you're happy, like, even if you're not making a lot of money, if you're happy with what you do, I think life is too short to really care about like those stuff.
All right, let me ask you this. How many kids do you want? When you two kids, all right. So the thing is like, because I've heard a lot of ladies, women or young people say, you know, I don't care as long as you're happy. But the reality is like when you have kids, it's expensive. I mean, Talita can profess to that, right?
Yes, so, absolutely.
So right now, money may not be as a high priority for you because right now you're in a situation where you don't really, that extra income is not needed. But the thing is, once you, because like we were talking about commitment, right? You guys want to find a guy you can commit to long term. Once you start having kids, you're gonna have like in a house probably because you guys want your own place. You're probably gonna get a school, daycare, all these things. That's when that man really steps up. So I always tell my younger siblings, is my younger sisters and my younger nephews and nieces, that if you want a guy, don't look for what he does. Ask him if does he have a plan with that. So if he's happy just being a janitor, that's fine, right? But the thing is, if you're gonna have more kids, there's gonna be more expenses. And if he's happy, if he's content where his salary is at, then your expenses as far as what you want for your family is gonna exceed what he's bringing to the table. That's also gonna bring a lot of strain into the relationship. And that's my thoughts on that. You know, because I do hear a lot of ladies do that. Oh, I don't care. And then they go with the guy, to realize, oh shoot, this guy is actually not leveling up or growing and because you know, when you start a family and grow with the family, there's also gonna come expenses gonna come with that. And if you don't plan for that, then it's gonna be difficult later on. But that's something I would just say to that. Eesha, do you want to add anything to that or no?
So I just gonna, so at 25, I also didn't care about whether the guy was doing like a really good job or whatever. In fact, my partner at the time was unemployed. So I was potentially the person who was, you know, providing everything from his clothes to food to, you know, everything. And I lost everything by the start of January 2020. I had lost all my money because the person I thought would have my back didn't actually have my back. And then, but my parents never, no one knew because I'm kind of private that way. And when I did actually tell my mother, because the healing period was so long, and when I told my mother, she said, if you're going to find a man, find somebody who will keep you at the same level you are right now or above it. And I think that's not necessarily to see that I'm materialistic or whatever, but right now I prefer a man who is booked and busy, so to speak, because I hustle a lot. So I work 3 jobs and I earn relatively better than other people my age in Sri Lankan standards. So I would prefer somebody who understands that hustle, who understands that I'm not going to be able to call you and be available for you 24/7, because sometimes I'm going to have to, you know, wake up at 1 a.m. and start working on a budget because my work hours are non-existent at the moment. So I would prefer, as much as I don't care, also I don't care what they do. Like in Sri Lanka, the standards are, you know, doctor, lawyer, engineer, disappointment to the family. So anything other than that is kind of like a disappointment. But people still work. People still get into different areas of work, and they earn, and they're passionate about what they do. So I don't particularly care what they do, but they might have to be on a certain level that I can relate to, because at the end of the day, if I do want to have a future with this person, I have to see what he brings to the table, because you have to know what you bring to the table. So when I get into a relationship, it's 100% commitment, loyalty, all of that, sure. But I want to be able to elevate myself as well. I can't always be completely about you and what you need and what you want and whether you've eaten, all that. That comes out of caring for your partner. Of course, it'll automatically happen. But I just, want to be at a place where both of us are growing side by side, instead of one person always having to look up for and be concerned about the other person. But love, I find, my definition of a partner has changed, I think, based on my past relationships, where now I would prefer somebody who's kind of like at the same level of hustle that I am, and also wants to elevate from there. Like, I don't want him to be satisfied where I am, because when my friends speak to me, they're always like, oh, what more do you want? You do this, you do that, and you everyone knows you, people, but that's not enough for me, because the dream is just still not even like quarter achieved. So I want somebody who has that drive, definitely. I don't care what you do, but at some point, you're going to need to have to elevate, because I'll be elevating. I'm always looking for new opportunities. So if you're stagnant and you're happy with what you have, or you're unhappy with what you have, but you're not doing shit about it, like, that's not attractive for me anymore. So I understand, like, when you're younger, like, that happens. Like, you think it doesn't matter, because I have always been the person who was financially better off than my partner. And so I would, go all in and shower them with gifts and, every single thing possible. But at the same time, you need to realize that you need to give to somebody who also wants to give back to you. You can't be in a relationship with a constant taker, because you're going to burn yourself out at some point. So, yeah, I think someone who matches my level of effort and also matches my drive and also understands the hustle is what I'm looking for now. So,
yeah.
I
What did you say, Talita?
completely agree with that. And
Yeah.
the only thing I add to that for me is I remember how you mentioned a lot of women like to feel that their partner can provide for them.
Yeah.
I like the security of knowing that if something happened, that I could count on my partner to carry the weight, but I do not follow the traditional role of wanting to be, and I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, but I don't want to be the domestic housewife per se.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing the house chores and the wife duties per se, or that standard, but I also have a career and I'm not willing to forfeit my career for that, to just be a housewife. So in saying that, I want, just like she said, I want somebody that's at the same level as me, and that since I have so many more goals that I plan on achieving as far as my career goes and this and that, I want that person to also have their goals, that we can work together, whether or not be the same. Our goals might be different, like his career from mine. It doesn't have to be the same at all, but he has drive and I have drive, and we are always pushing forward. So I'm along with her on that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I completely agree on that, because like, it doesn't matter to me what you do. Like, you say you want to start a food truck, shit, I'll show up after work and clean with you, like, 100% support. But like, just don't be at a level where you're not just doing anything, you're just stagnant, because like, life goes on, and it's like in 5 or 10 years, is this all you want to say that you did? That's going to be so messed up, because I can't handle that. So,
and there's people
like
but you have to live within those means. So if you're going to partner
Yeah.
up with somebody that wants to live that life and they're okay living that for the next 50 years of their life, well, you have to be able to picture yourself, hey, am I okay with them doing that for the next 50 years and me staying at the same level, or me hustling a whole bunch and, let's say, reaching the goal of being astronomically financially stable, and they are still there. Am I okay with that? Am I okay with just pulling all the weight and just bringing that person along with me, and I don't mind them riding my coattails? Or am I going to be bothered?
Yeah, that's really something that I think a lot of women don't think about, or like they think about, but they don't want to like put it out there because it would make them seem like, you know, materialistic or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, let's be practical. Like, you're going to think about those things. Like, your future will depend on who you're with. And like she said, like, I don't want anybody to provide for me. Like, I'm fine on my own. Like, I do all of that. But it's nice to know that someone's got your back in that corner. That's basically it. And if you can't, you know, depend on that person financially or maybe emotionally, or to even step up, if there's a point where your car breaks down, will he come and actually pick you up? Or will he just say, oh no, you know, I'm too lazy right now, whatever. Like, those things like that, they do like factor in at some point.
Yeah, and the only reason why I brought that up because when Christina said I don't care, because it's something I hear a lot from a lot of women. I also have a lot of friends also that their girlfriends tell them that, and I tell them my guy friends all the time, like, if your girlfriend tells you, or your significant other tells you, I don't care what you do, I don't care how much money you make, and I tell them no, they actually do care, and maybe at this moment now, but later on, like I said, practically when we start a family, when we need expenses, women, you guys prefer your man to be able to take care of business. You know, he doesn't necessarily, you guys, of course, I'm sure all you guys work together 50-50 with your man and provide and divide up the financial responsibility. But I do know for a lot of women, they do prefer, you know, even though he doesn't have to provide and pay for everything, but they wouldn't, you guys would, like, I think Talita said that you want to know that if something happens, he can step up and take care of it, right? So, and I've just seen it for a lot of guys when they hear those words from women. Oh, I don't care how much money, I don't care. Then men literally take that literally. They're like, oh, you don't care, and they don't really put in the work to grow, because that's what you told them, right? That's what you told them. For men, when we hear something, we take it literally. I know for women, you guys like are very indirect when you guys express your feelings, but for men, we are very literal when we hear things. So I've heard a lot of women tell guys, say, oh, I don't care. And the guys, oh, you don't care? Oh, okay. And they don't put in the work. And then over a long period of time, about a committed relationship. And then when they can't, when something happens financially and they need to step up and they can't because they haven't put in the work, then it puts a lot of strain in the relationship. Or she leaves to find another guy that can support him, that can support her and handle that responsibility. So that's why I brought it up, because I know for a lot of guys been listening to Christine, oh, I don't care. Oh, I want to find a girl like Christine, but I tell them, no, the women do care, but they said probably now they don't care now, but long term, like Eesha said, practically long term, eventually it will matter. But if you don't put in the work now to make sure you handle your business when that time comes, then naturally, it's for a lot of women, it's really hard for women to respect a man that can't fulfill his responsibility as a man. Anybody want to add to that?
I think that's true, because like, it might not come in initially, like you start off not caring, and then you start seeing like how much money you're losing, how much effort, you know, it's going in, and it's not reciprocated, and then like you get into like your own fucked up place in your head as well, because you're like, oh no, like, does that mean I actually care, or does that mean I'm actually materialistic, like what's happening? And you're just going to end up unhappy, and I don't think there's a point of being unhappy with someone. But sorry, Will, can I just ask whether I can just go off like for a second, because I feel like the sun's just blaring in my face.
Yeah, go ahead. go ahead. No. And the reason why I brought that standpoint, because, you know, for me, like, I know for a lot of guys in the early 20s is when a lot of guys are, you know, they're not, if they're young, they haven't really figured out their life yet. So I think it's really, really important for women to express their needs of what you want from a partner, especially financially. Because I know Eesha said that if a woman tells a man today in this society what she looks for financially, you can be labeled as a what?
Materialistic.
Or what's the other word?
Gold digger.
Gold digger, right? But the thing is, for me, it's not gold digger. It's practical, because, you know, it's reality. We need kids and relationships cost money. Marriage costs money, so it's practical to express what kind of financial level you're looking for in a man. But if you don't express that to a man clearly, then the man thinks, oh, she doesn't care about my financial obligation. I could just chill, party, have friends, and do stupid shit, smoke and drink. But then when baby come in, and bills need to be paid, they're like, and then of course, a woman, you look for the man to handle up it, but it was like, hey, wait, you told me you didn't care. Like, why, so now, like, because you didn't set that precedent in the beginning, that's why I feel like if you don't make that clear in the beginning, don't tell a guy, hey, I don't care. Because guys will literally take that, especially if it's a young guy in his early 20s. Because when I was in my early 20s, I didn't care about responsibility. I was just living life, chilling, having fun. I wasn't really, even when I was in, having relationships, but I wasn't even thinking long term, So
I think that also with women.
Huh?
I think it depends at the point in your life, the age you are, and the
Yeah,
season you're.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up.
21 and he's 21, and let's be honest, you guys, you're both looking for the same thing, then I think it works. But when one has an expectation and the other doesn't, or like you said, like she fails to communicate because she has this expectation, then I think it's messed up. Like you should tell them. But if you guys are on the same level and you both are ready to party hardy and that's all you care about, then whatever.
Yeah, the only thing I would say that even when you're younger, right? Because what happens is if you guys are having fun, and let's say the girl gets pregnant, right? When the girl gets pregnant, she can't work. Who is expected to step up?
The guy.
The guy.
Yeah.
So if you that's why I bringing this up. Doesn't matter how young you are. I'm glad young ladies, listen to this. You're very young. You need to start focusing on a man's ability to take care of you, because if something happens to get a baby and then that guy is not ready to step up, and if the guy's not ready to step up and he's really young, you know what he's gonna do? He's
Tell it out of there.
Dipping. he's gone. Let's just keep it 100. Like, if the guy's not ready to step up for a baby and he's not ready at that level, and that's why you see a lot of cases guys are just I'm not taking care of their kids, but that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation, especially for a lot of young women that's watching this. You need to focus and pay attention to not only the men you're bringing into your life, but also his ability to take care of you, because it is important. Because when you have a baby, you can't work. The man has to step up. So that's why I brought that point up. Because if you tell a guy, hey, I don't care about money, he's literally gonna take that, and just do whatever he won't put in the work. And then when something happens, whether it's pregnancy, kids, marriage, whatever, and you haven't had that conversation, even had a plan for it, it is going to put a lot of strain in that relationship, and a lot of times it tends to not work out.